Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Sister Love Squadcast. We have an episode tonight, since it is the end of the month, on our top 10s for the month. And all the top 10 picks, the theme was not really a theme, but it was based off of Xena's playlist.
Well, that's a theme.
That's a
The
theme.
theme is Xena.
It's a Xena theme.
It's a Xena.
It's your birthday month.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm a June baby. So
Yep.
so everybody had to pick songs off my playlist, and my playlist is pretty extensive. So there was I think I gave people quite a few options.
Yeah.
You have 17 hours?
I have over 24 hours.
I thought I was being out of hand
Janice? No.
when I said 17.
No, I think that I have like 27 hours of music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, 25 of them are Cliff.
No,
No, they
only
weren't. They
almost
weren't.
6.
They weren't.
I
But-
think I still have you beat on the amount of time.
That's
think you
because,
do.
okay, Xena has quantity. You have length.
I have quality.
Oh, for pity's sakes.
No,
That's
you-
in the eye of the listener, or in the ear of the listener, whatever that would be.
The majority of your songs, Jaylee, are like 5 minutes long. That's the average song time for you.
It's
okay,
true.
Mark Winter songs, like they're a big majority of my playlist.
Average.
That's
It's
true.
the average.
And they're like
Statistics here,
2
girl.
to 3 minutes. Not everything is a Huey Lewis song.
Or Broadway.
Or
Right,
Broadway.
right.
So anyway, let me see who wants to start.
Well,
And we didn't do a lot of homework this time. We've been super, super busy
yes.
when we're recording this because we haven't quite left for Montana and we've had gig after gig, which we're very happy about. But I haven't even finished packing.
I haven't even started
yes,
packing.
I haven't recording this. We have like 2 days till we leave, and we have a ton of packing to do.
But I got all the outfits packed.
That's
But
good.
by the time this airs, we'll have all the concerts done, and it'll be a wonderful time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So on that note,
Why did you just start? Because you like did the most homework, Xena.
okay. Well, I actually am just going to start right off with my number 1.
Okay.
And that is by probably the second artist that I have the most songs all of. And that would be Roy Hamilton. And the song is All the Things You Are.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that
I
one.
absolutely love this song. It is from Roy Hamilton's album Soft and Warm, which I got last year for my birthday when we went up to Solstice Records. And it's one of those albums. There's always records where you don't like every single song and you're like, oh, I kind of want to lift the needle and skip this one. Not Soft and Warm. I
No,
love every
I'll-
single song on
I'll
it.
agree with that one.
Is that the lamp one?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
he
it's
like
a cool
has
right next to
picture.
the lamp?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, the song was written by Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein in 1939 for the musical Very Warm for May. And I have never heard of that musical.
No, me
We have a
neither.
Jerome Kern record
Album of-
collection.
Yeah, that
out
was
in
pretty
the music
cool.
room. Yeah, we just got that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's really all the information I had about the song, except that I absolutely love it. It's very soothing and very sweet. And of course, anybody who doesn't know who Roy Hamilton is, that's another very interesting singer to look into. And a lot of people don't know he was a big influence on Elvis's singing style. And Elvis really looked up to him. In fact, I didn't write down all the facts on Roy, so do your own research. But from what I remember when I was researching, he had kind of a short career because he died pretty young. I think he was probably in his 40s or something, and some health issue that came up that was unexpected. And Elvis actually, sent his wife a flower every day that Roy was in the hospital or something like that, and
That's
came
so
in and visited
sweet.
Roy and paid for his funeral and everything.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. But no, I think Roy Hamilton is definitely a underrated singer. So check out his music. He's got great songs.
Definitely a good pick. I had one from him too, and I know you've talked about it a lot. It's actually my number 3, and that's Time After Time.
I love his version of that the best.
Yes, it's really good. There are a couple versions that I like of it. The one that we kind of model after is actually Rod Stewart's version.
It's pretty good.
but which I do like his because it has the intro part. I don't think
Oh,
Roy's
yeah.
has the intro part.
No, it doesn't.
But Roy's version of it is so smooth and soothing.
Mhm.
I really love the way he does Time After Time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a major Rod Stewart fan, but I do like his crooner albums.
Actually, I like him singing that kind of music
Yeah.
best.
It's
Mhm.
yeah, it really fits his voice, and I like that he does the intros that you don't always hear.
Mm-hmm.
But Marty Robbins does a really good version of Time After Time too.
Really? That
I
kind
don't
of
know if I've
surprises
ever
me.
heard Marty Robbins
Yeah, we
do
need to
it.
do a secondhand songs on that one. I love Marty Robbins' version.
Linda looks dubious on that one.
I have it on my
You sure
playlist.
you have the right?
I have it on my
And it's
playlist.
the same song?
Mm-hmm.
Did he make it country sounding?
Mandy, you've heard it with me. It came on my playlist. It's not too country.
Marty Robbins' voice, to me, sometimes is different in everything he sings.
I don't really notice that, but I have
No.
to listen to this song now because that one does not sound like a song that Marty Robbins would sing. But
Yeah, but there was what second one songs was that we did the cover song comparisons that
oh,
he
Too
did?
Young.
Was it? It was too
Yeah,
young.
he did like
wasn't
a
it?
crooner album, I
Are they-
think.
He did
Yeah.
a version, and it was actually cool.
He's like
the
sitting
way
on
he
the
did it.
like cliffs of a beach, kind of.
On the album?
Yeah, on the album cover.
Oh. I love the song Time After Time because it was in one of my favorite movies. It happened in
Yes.
Brooklyn. And that was one of my cinematic celebration picks last year with Frank Sinatra and oh my word, I can't think of his name.
You know his name.
Peter Lawford.
And
You don't-
Granny.
You don't even want to know the name that popped in my head.
Who?
I tried to
Who?
think these people have nothing in common. I was trying to think of Peter Lawford and Leonard Nimoy's name is all that comes.
Oh my word.
Obviously, I've been watching too much Star Trek in recent history.
I don't think he quite fits the
I'm like,
role.
what
of
does that
Peter
have to do
Lawford.
with that? But anyway, it happened in Brooklyn with Frank Sinatra, Peter Lawford, Jimmy Durante, and Katherine Grayson.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
It's got
It's a
great
really
songs
good
and it's a
movie.
really sweet story.
Yeah.
Well, my number 10 is For the Good Times by Ray Price. And Chris Christopherson was the one that wrote the song.
Oh, I could
Oh,
see
really?
that.
Yeah. And it was
I
first
knew that.
You did?
I did.
Because you're a bright lady.
it was first recorded by and sung by Bill Nash in 1968. But then Ray Price took it over in 1970 and established Christopherson as a... I'm reading just a second.
Can't read her own
A
notes.
top songwriter and gave Price a number one chart in 11 years. So,
Okay. he gave him a
number one, his first chart-topping country song in 11 years.
okay.
There we go.
That
There
makes
we go.
sense. Yep.
She's like reading to herself and reading
Yeah.
out loud and missing some words on the out
I
loud
am,
part.
Don't Shelley, you've talked about that song before, something to do with one of your favorite singers.
Yeah, I absolutely love What Might Have Been. He never actually recorded it, but there is a just, you know,
Candid video.
candid video, yeah, of Michael Jackson singing that song at his mother's birthday party because that was her favorite song.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's really sweet,
It is
and
really sweet.
he really should have done that song. He could have aced it.
That reminds me. Okay, now I'm kind of jumping back, but when I was looking up All the Things You Are,
Mm-hmm.
my first pick, it said that Michael Jackson did a version of that.
What year?
I didn't see.
I'll have to look into that.
It may be on one of his albums. But
Yeah.
I
like
could see
maybe
him
even
doing
on the
that.
one where he did Too Young.
I'm wondering.
Music and Me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to look into that.
Yeah. I didn't really put my songs in order. I just kind of picked songs I like and threw them down. Yeah.
Threw them
I threw them
Just
down.
threw 'em
I
down
want
like an old
footage
dirty
of
shoe.
that. We could
Mhm.
post it.
Yeah, we just threw them down. But I actually don't have a repeat artist on my list. I do have a repeat artist on my list.
I don't have
Cliff.
a repeat artist.
I know that's easy
Yeah.
to do on my
I don't
playlist.
either, I don't think.
It's rare actually on my playlist I have a repeat artist.
No,
I
you
don't-
like a ton from the same.
Yeah,
band
I
or
don't like
artist.
obsess over like one person.
The Monkees you did.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so going back to the conversation before, that was on his Music of Me album, but I haven't heard it, so I'll have to listen to it.
Oh, so he's
yeah.
younger when he does it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to make a note, Jay Lee. I did do a typo in Some Memories Just Won't Die. I said don't die instead of won't die, so you're going to have to fix that.
You picked that one?
Yes, I,
haven't
did.
even at this point. I haven't even made the
Oh, did somebody else?
posts yet.
I did.
Oh.
That's okay. I'll have to look at another one. I had some runner-ups.
By the
Okay.
time this airs, there will already be some posted, so we'll have it all worked out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that one I looked up and does not have much information on it.
Mm-mm.
Like
Except
none.
that it's absolutely epic.
It
is
is.
an
It's
epic
good.
song.
It was
That's
like
by
his
Marty
last
Robbins.
hit.
Yeah, I think if I'm correct, now you'd have to look. I think that album actually was released after Marty Robbins died.
The song wasn't.
Oh.
Because
Oh.
I looked it up. It was actually about, let's see here. Let me figure something out. 8 months before he died. The song was released. So I don't know if the whole album was.
Yeah, I'd have to
It's
look at
kind
it.
of,
I
like,
know I have that
haunting.
album.
Now knowing that it was
But I
released on album
remember-
after.
When you discovered that song, I had never heard it. I don't know. Did you remember that song?
What song now?
Some memories just won't
Oh, yeah.
die.
Hmm.
It has a definitely different feel than most Marty Robbins songs.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it back to back to back after I heard it.
She first heard it in the parking lot of Fairway.
I did. That
Yep.
was when. Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
I remember that.
Shelley's
I thought
our
it was in the sewing
observant
room,
one.
but
No,
you're probably right.
I remember my memory with this song is after Christmas shopping. It's on my playlist too. So we got in the car in the parking lot of Hobby Lobby in Onalaska, Wisconsin, and it was playing and I belted it.
No one
So
could hear Marty.
when was this album released?
When was it
70.
released?
82.
Oh, 82.
Oh, 82.
Mhm.
When did he die?
82.
Yeah.
So it was released in April. He died in
Oh.
December.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember my friend Mary had a song, or Marty Robbins album
Oh.
that she always used to listen to. And my family wasn't big Marty Robbins, except for El Paso, everybody like that. So we didn't have a lot of his records. But she had one that had the song My Woman, My Wife.
I love that
Yes.
song.
And I thought that was different songs on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe that one was, but apparently it
Well,
wasn't.
that one was later.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You can tell in his voice he recorded it later.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a really good song.
I
need
don't
to
know if
add
I've ever
to
heard
my
that
playlist.
one.
You need to listen to that song.
Yeah.
You heard it first by her
Yeah.
playing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had her license. I didn't. She was older than me.
Yeah.
But, well, I can go next, I guess.
Don't do the BJ.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
The microphone
I always hold my mic like B.J. Thomas did.
to the side.
Right to the
yeah.
side. Our
Mhm.
microphones don't work like that.
Anyhow, I don't have them in any particular order of. I just have absolutely love this one and not this one.
See, she threw him down too.
I placed them down softly
Yes.
through
Okay.
Zena's pen.
All right. All right.
Anyhow, I love David Cassidy.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one of his
Okay.
too.
But when he released some of his earlier Partridge Family songs,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't big on him. There were a few.
Yeah.
I was big on him. I
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
Yeah.
Big on
How
his
could you not be?
songs. Like, okay, I'll probably hurt most people's heads, but I cannot hardly take I Think I Love You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy drives me up a wall. But I love his voice. And Walking in the Rain. But this was 1973, so this was a little older. So he was a little older, and that's really a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was originally done by the Ronettes
Yeah.
in '64. But I like his better.
Me too.
Yeah.
And It's another one written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil
Mm-hmm.
and Phil Spector.
Yep.
Yeah.
We listened to some interesting little information about all that with Professor Rock about Brian Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He did a tribute to Brian Wilson. So we've linked his YouTube channel before, but
Yeah.
if I have room in the caption, I'll link it again. Professor Rock on YouTube.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say about him now.
Phil
So,
Spector.
yeah.
Yeah, there was kind of a not rivalry, but it was an interesting thing between the Motown sound. I guess it wasn't Phil Spector, but I guess it was him too. But the Beatles and Brian Wilson, that they kind of had a competition,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is very interesting because they wanted to sound different.
Right.
Mhm.
Instead of like having like the music today all has to sound exactly the same.
I know.
And he was talking about Brian Wilson, the Pet Sounds album, and he was trying to get it out before. Was it Pet Sounds? Yeah, it was before
Oh, the
Sergeant
No,
Pepper's.
that was
No,
Smile.
that was Smile.
Sorry,
Smiles.
the
That
other
was
one.
it.
He did get Pet Sounds out before theirs, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was Pet Sounds, and then the Beatles did Sgt. Pepper's
right.
Lonely Hearts Club.
Lonely Hearts Club before he could get out Smile.
Because he had his
Yes.
breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is
Smile was supposed to be
and
on
they're all
top, yeah.
friends.
Exactly.
There were a friendly competition, so to speak.
Mhm.
Right. It
They
wasn't
respected each other's talents.
Like, yeah, I
Yes.
feel like today there's more like competition, like, you're gonna take my gig kind of thing.
and I'm just going to put you down because. Yeah.
Right. They compliment each other on their work honestly and truly, and they liked each other's music.
Right.
And they stole from it, quote unquote. They took it and built on it to make it their sound too,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what was selling and that's what was popular. Success was more in the artist's hands at that point,
Yeah.
rather than a corporation.
Yeah.
Now it seems like it's who can be more of whoever. You know what I'm saying? It's like
No.
I can make this sound less human than that last person.
I know. More computerized.
More computerized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so sad.
On Brian Wilson and the Ronettes and Phil Spector, what they said about that was Be My Baby was like the inspiration for Don't Worry Baby.
Yes, he
Yeah.
absolutely loved that song.
He said that when he first heard it, he had to pull over and listen to the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I don't know. I love that. I think the other thing that they were doing is that competition built the fact that they were excited to create something new
Right.
instead of, I feel like, and this even started to happen in the 80s, when one thing worked for somebody, everybody was going to try it, And it has always happened. There's always been that. Like, it happened a little bit in the 50s, too. Everybody tried to copy each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what you heard in this interview about Brian Wilson and the Beatles and everything is like, no, I don't want to copy you. I want to make something different. Oh, you did that different? Now I'm going to do this different.
Right. They were inspiring each other.
Uh-huh.
And they were using what was had gone before.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were even saying they were taking, the classicals
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
bringing it forward and
Yep.
making it something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was exciting more than it was just, it's the same thing. I mean, you could tell in the past who the artist was.
Right.
Mhm.
I can't anymore.
I can't either,
Yeah.
honestly.
I will say, in somewhat defense of modern singers and performers, most of them are tied down to a company.
Yeah.
And the company decides how they're going to sound, what they're going to release, what they're going to do, where they're going to perform. They have no control over their own music. They're basically owned. So, and the company doesn't care about creating a unique sound. They care about cranking out more stuff that'll make them money.
Yeah.
No, true.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just trying to train my ears because since I've been listening to like the interviews with Professor Rock and then different YouTube channels and stuff, it's like even the singers that have gone before, they're starting to remaster the original singers, and it's like, I want to hear the records. I want to hear the original sound
Mm-hmm.
because you'll start to realize how they're dulling
Yeah.
the uniqueness. So yeah, we need to bring it back and keep listening to human voices,
Yeah.
even if they're imperfect, because that's what makes it good. I
Like
don't
John
know.
Lennon on If I Fell.
You notice the little things. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
technically, maybe your voice cracked there. Maybe it was
Mhm.
off key, but it actually sometimes makes the song.
It
Yeah.
adds more character
Uh-huh.
and makes it more relatable, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, how do you have Bob Dylan then?
Right. I mean, he has an audience. I'm not his audience, but he has an audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
And
he's unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know when it's his voice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing about, and we just showed Linda and Xena the music video of this, but We Are the World, it does showcase all the different artists, even from the past and the present of that time.
Well, just that song right there proves the point that we were just saying, that everybody sounded different.
Mm-hmm.
Because most modern singers now, if you got that many together, it would sound like the same voice.
Yeah.
But you distinctly know when it's Lionel Richie and when
Mhm.
it's Stevie Wonder and then Kenny Loggins. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell that it's somebody else singing, and they each have their unique flair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But since you were talking about David Cassidy, I guess I'll mention my number 5, and it is technically a Partridge Family one. But
I mean-
Walking in the Rain was on a Partridge Family album too.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just that one song.
I know what it
Yeah.
is. It isn't even. Yes, you might not like the lyrics, but I know what bothers you about it.
It's the beginning.
Ba,
Ba,
ba, ba, ba, ba, ba, ba,
Whatever.
ba, ba. That's
Yeah.
what bugs you.
It's the background.
It's really the whole song for me.
No, it's the lyrics.
Yeah.
Is
Really?
I wake from my bed, I don't know, it's shouting.
Right in the middle of a good dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's the yeah, it's
Waking
the,
your brothers up.
It has
Yeah.
okay. It does have kind of a weird feel to it,
Yeah.
yeah, I
like the way
don't
it's
know.
arranged.
It makes you feel uncomfortable.
Anyway, but that one is not the one on my list, because I don't think that one's on Xena's playlist.
I don't
either.
have it on there. I don't dislike it that much, but I don't have it on there. I don't love it either.
Mine is "I'll Meet You Halfway."
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one.
I'll give you that one.
Yep, and the background is quieter in that one, but I really like that one, and I honestly don't know why. Like, I feel like it could be used in a movie or a play or something.
Mm-hmm.
It has more story to it, and I like that when there's like context that could be used in a play or something.
Yeah.
But I really like that one. It actually gives me like cozy feelings.
Mm-hmm. I'll meet you halfway.
Better than no way.
Another one
Yeah.
that does kind of do that, although it's got more of a sadder tone to it, is Echo Valley 28. What is it? 309?
309.
309.
That one's
Remember that
really
one?
good.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
know
a
if that
really
one was
sad
on
one.
your list.
And then he
It's not on my
talks in it.
list.
Oh,
It's
it's
like,
like
oh, even in his talking voice.
I
Whoa.
believe one thing. If this is the one I'm thinking of, I thought it was really cool because they actually use like the phone ringing noise in the end and stuff,
Yeah.
like the dialing.
It's similar to Operator, the theme.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few. Well, I didn't add it to my list. It might have been on my list last year, but since we're just talking about David Cassidy, about the Partridge Family and everything, remember Summer Days?
I was
Yes.
just thinking about that.
I did play that one. I don't know, probably when I was 16. I played that on my record over
We
and
st-
over
we
and
still have that
over
record.
again.
Yeah, that
Remember
one
that
gives
one?
me cozy feelings because
Yeah,
I
we
heard it
had-
so much.
We had a Cassidy battle in the house.
It wasn't a battle because I like David too. I just
Mhm.
really liked my Sean Cassidy record.
It was a battle because we had David downstairs and Sean upstairs.
yeah, his "To Do Run Run" album. I played. I think it can still play. I don't know.
We all remember.
Yeah.
Well, both sides are really good.
Did you have one of David's albums or the Partridge Family albums?
No.
No?
Pictures on my wall,
Yeah.
but no, I didn't have his album. Mm-mm.
Oh. Yeah, we've got a few. I really like too his. I have a couple Partridge Family, but I have his Cherish album.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's
His
a good
version,
one.
I prefer his version of Cherish actually to the Association. The Association's good. That was the original,
Mhm.
but I love David's version.
Yeah.
If you want it, like David's is more personal.
Uh-huh.
Like
hmm
the Association is a whole vibe. Like
Kind
of
the
a
song
choir
is a whole
sound.
vibe. But
Yeah.
that one's definitely more personal.
Almost the group is a whole vibe, and they put that into every song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Even though
we had an
there's
album of
difference.
theirs. I
Okay,
wasn't
here's
keen
another
on all of them.
unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
that I'm go.
You're being
I-
controversial.
I'm
today.
being controversial.
That's
today.
okay. I love it.
The Association. I
Yeah.
like the Cherish,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I do like. There's another one of theirs.
Wendy.
No, it's
Wendy?
not Never My Love. It's something of that.
Yeah,
order.
they do.
Never mind.
Isn't that
Is that
That's
it?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to turn it off when Along Comes Mary.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
I don't
Oh,
like that song.
I don't know if
Mm-mm.
I've listened to that one too
Yeah, I don't
much.
like it.
I think I've heard that one, but
I get that one mixed
Nothing
up with
against
Proud
the-
Mary.
It's just some songs it's like, oh, that one doesn't work with me.
Yeah.
It's not that it wasn't good. It didn't have it has all the association type of singing in it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I like that one? Like Cherish, and I don't like Along Comes Mary.
I don't know because
You
we
know.
had one of their albums and I played it, and there's just some songs that is just like, it's not me.
Mhm.
It doesn't really speak to me. The whole album didn't. So.
It's the music or
But
something.
I love Never My Love, and
Yeah,
actually,
it is. Never My Love is on there.
Mhm.
I read about the story behind that one.
Yeah.
The main singer proposed to his then girlfriend, and she actually asked the questions that is asked in the song, and that was his immediate response was "Never My Love." He immediately turned and ran to the band members like, "We gotta write this song." Left her standing there. He's like, "I have a song and we gotta write it." So it's
So
basically
she's
the
like,
story of his proposal.
This is what I'm getting myself into.
The life of being married to an entertainer.
Well, I also have a song here that I like to, especially since they're songs off my playlist and it's my birthday month and everything. I like to pick songs that have meant something to me throughout the years or that I have memories of. And so I picked The Sweetheart Tree by Henry Mancini.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Lots
I
of warm,
have-
fuzzy feelings with that one.
Always loved that song. And the first time that I discovered it was because we actually were out thrifting and we got this sheet music. And it has the movie poster from The Great Race, which the song was written for in 1965. And it was just plunking it out on the piano, and I just loved it so much. And the group we were with at that time, Shelly and I, sang that song for Valentine's Day at the various
You were
different...
16
Mm-hmm.
and she was
Well, I was probably 15 at the time. It had been
15? How old
February.
was
So
you been,
Shelley's
Shelley?
probably 6 because they're 9 years
What's it,
apart.
6? It was so cute.
Mhm.
But it is just the sweetest song about this,
Yes.
Sweetheart Tree. Very sentimental, and it doesn't really match the movie. I mean, the movie is a spoof. It's basically like a comedy, which
Oh, it
I mean,
is?
it's a fun movie. Yeah.
Mhm.
Natalie
It
Wood's
does
in it.
kind of, because it matches the scene.
Yeah,
that
it
it's
matches
in.
the scene. I always did love the scene too. She has the little guitar out in the woods.
She
and-
doesn't actually sing it.
Yes,
She
she
does.
does.
She
It's one of
does?
the few times that she actually sings
and
because
she,
it's in her range.
it's actually
Oh.
low enough. She
Okay.
actually
Mhm.
does pretty well. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
study Natalie Wood. It really was sad. I remember we were listening to these historians on TV musicals or on
Mhm.
movie musicals and saying she always wanted to sing.
It was really on like the musicals that had other singers dub.
yeah,
Yeah.
And she always wanted to sing. Like in West Side Story, she wanted to be the one to sing. And she just doesn't have range.
Mm-hmm.
This song, though, is, kind of soft and simple enough,
Mhm.
and they made it low for her. And she actually does a good job
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it. Is she wanted to sing like soprano, and she has a pretty alto voice.
Yeah.
So you really hear it in that. But it's one of
Mhm.
the few times that you actually get to hear her sing.
But if she did sing in West Side Story, Marnie Nixon would be out of a job.
It's true. Marnie
Mhm.
Nixon's amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She sounds like a different voice in all the different.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that Maria and Eliza Doolittle were the same.
Mm-mm.
Which, there were actually 2 people dubbed in that.
Maria. Oh yeah, Maria from West Side Story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went to Sound of Music. I'm like, Julie Andrews definitely sang that.
No. Yeah. But there were 2 people dubbed in My Fair Lady movie, which was also, what's his name?
Freddie Einsford
Freddie.
Hill.
So the guy who sings for Prince Philip in Disney's Sleeping Beauty sang for Freddie.
Sang
That-
on the street where you live. Yeah.
Mhm.
That crushed my world. Because
He-
Eddie is so cute, and I'm like, Eddie sings amazing.
He
Oh,
fakes
actually,
it
he
so
doesn't.
well.
I know, actually,
Well,
he doesn't.
Eddie
sing that
does
well.
sing amazing.
True.
Mhm.
Or Freddie.
Mhm.
Or Freddie.
Oh, Freddie. Yeah.
I was asking, well, who's Eddie?
We're throwing someone else
He's
in
a
this?
Jack Russell Terrier on Frasier.
Yeah, so there was... Oh,
yeah,
Shelley.
Shelley hasn't
I'll-
even said
I'll
one
quit.
yet.
Being
Elsie,
bossy.
quit being bossy.
So, yeah. I don't have a lot of homework, but I'll go with my number 6, and that's, of course, I had to add one from the Bee Gees. But actually, it was released on a Bee Gees album, but it was... Okay, let me get this straight. Well, I might as well get straight. I'll Kiss Your Memory is the first solo single written, performed, and produced by Barry Gibb, released in May 1970. It peaked at number 16 in the Netherlands, and the song was intended for Gibb's unreleased debut album, The Kid's No Good. And what Barry said about it was, on the single, I double-tracked my voice 7 times because I knew exactly how I wanted everything done.
So the background isn't his brother's. It's
Right, it's
all
just
him.
Barry.
It's kind of like how Michael Jackson used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that you start to learn when you start to go to record and stuff, and that is you listen really closely. And it's like, I think that's when we were listening about Brian Wilson and stuff. He knew exactly what he heard
Mm-hmm.
and how he wanted it to sound. And I could see Barry Gibb being the exact same way.
Yep.
Yeah.
He knew the sound he wanted. He knew how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
On the different singing in the background and the different brothers singing, I have words down, which of course we did the
cover song comparisons.
Go
On
watch
that
that
one.
episode.
yeah. But there wasn't much information that I could find, except on the B side of that single was a song called "Sinking Ships." Do you know that one?
No, but
Is it a
sounds like-
Robin song?
Well, it's a Barry, Robin, and Morris song. Barry and Robin sing the verses. I don't know if together or separate because they both lead. And then Morris sings the chorus.
I might have
Solo?
heard that then.
Morris sings the chorus. That sounds good.
It's my turn to do a solo. I love that
Mhm.
clip. Morris
a little
is
bit
so
hard
fun.
to take.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool that they
Yeah.
all split it up.
Morris only actually got one solo song ever. Well, I mean, he had a solo album.
He has a great country voice.
That
Yeah,
always
it
tickles
really
me when
throws
they
you.
like when I'm watching a live show with them like on YouTube and they let Morris do do a solo and he just comes out with this like deep country sounding voice like
Almost
it
Johnny
sounds,
Cash.
it sounds so different than
yeah.
Robin and Barry, but yet he can blend in with them really
Mhm.
well when they sing all together, even if it's
Yeah.
just one word, right? Like on Massachusetts.
Oh, you gotta go watch that video. I don't know what show it's
Is it
on.
Johnny
It's on
Carson?
the Tonight
I think
Show.
It is on the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do Massachusetts, and Morris is hilarious watching him on that because he only does one word. What's he supposed to do for the rest of the song? Pick it, Robin.
Siblings.
Single children just don't get it.
Okay, so the next one that I have is One More Time by the Carpenters. It was released in 1976.
Is this on her playlist?
It is on your playlist.
It is.
Yes.
And I think you were listening to it the other day when you picked me up from work.
I think so. And
But I haven't listened to it that much. I just loved it, so I put it on there.
it is a very sweet song, but I could not find who wrote it or anything. So, but
You should have dug through our albums. It's probably on one of them.
probably,
Yeah.
but I just love the song. It's sweet and I just love the Carpenters.
That's one thing I've discovered about your playlist, Xena. There's not a lot of information about the songs on it.
I like the random things.
It's
I
like
like
the
digging
ultimate
deeper.
deep cut playlist.
Yes.
It is. My playlist is all deep cut artists and songs.
Yep.
So it's usually either artists that people really don't know or it's really well known artists and it's their songs that people don't know. Like, I have some Elvis songs on there, but they're ones that nobody ever listens to. Like, that's one thing. Everybody's like, Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. And I'm like, you don't even know some of his good songs.
Yeah.
Like, I have on there True Love Travels Down a Gravel Road.
Oh, that one's
Oh
really
my
cool.
goodness,
that
I
one
love
is
that
cool.
song. And I had never heard that one. And then the other one is The Girl I Never Loved
That one
from
I love.
Clambake. Oh man, I love that song. That's the movie he sings You Don't Know Me in. We were just watching that clip. But The Girl I Never Loved is such a cool song.
Well, even Puppet on a String. I don't know how people know that because how many people have even watched his movies out there?
Yeah, true.
You know, so
True,
if
it's
you haven't, please do. And if you have a favorite, drop it in the comments because we'd love
Yeah.
to see if we've seen it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have 2 Elvis songs on my playlist. Teddy Bear
Mm-hmm.
and I Got Lucky. I think those are the only two I have on my playlist.
Typical.
Typical.
It's not typical. It's not like Don't Be Cruel or Jailhouse Rock or anything.
Well, I have a it's very controversial today.
Mm.
When it came out, I don't know, but in 1966, because I was only, I was little.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it because it's a fun song to sing to.
Yep.
You find yourself singing to it, and it's like, oh, these lyrics. It's interesting when you get older.
Right.
Anyhow, it's called Born a Woman by Sandy Posey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really good song.
Yeah, it's it would be a good discussion song,
Yeah.
Definitely.
because, you can feel that way even today.
Mm-hmm.
We think we're so above everything that these women were in the 60s, but that's not true. Women are still women and men are still men.
Mhm.
Women feel they look at things differently.
Yep.
So, but it's like when I'm singing it now or hearing it now, it's like, I wonder how many people would get riled by this
I
song.
know. And that's one thing I wish. This is a good thing to bring up. And I know we're just getting kind of controversial and out there and different. I hopefully.
But you know what? We have the microphone and a right to our opinion because we're Americans. So you can
Well,
disagree, but
This is one thing when you're
It's our
listening
opinion.
to music, and especially like with this song, really stop and think about it in a real life situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least with me. It's like, wait a minute, have I ever felt this way? Yes, I've felt this way. And then where is the song going? Don't turn it off just because the first part of the song makes you uncomfortable.
right.
Yeah.
See what it's telling you in the end and maybe look at, okay, I think a lot of people listen to that song and think, wow, things have gotten so much better. And it's like, I'm not so sure about that.
Right.
It almost seems like what she's talking about in the end, we've lost more or we've gotten away from. So I would highly recommend listening to the song and taking a very objective look at it.
Yeah.
You want to listen to a song that makes you uncomfortable in the beginning, listen to My Girl Bill.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You had that on one of your
I had
lists.
it. I wonder if anybody listened to it.
I don't know,
I
but
don't
they
know.
still need to go listen to it.
How about any Jim Stafford song?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost everyone that comes on, it's like, okay, I need to analyze what he's talking about here.
Not quite following you. Yeah, no, that is a really good song. And I love Sandy Posey's voice.
Yes.
They have she definitely, I think they double her voiceover and she harmonizes with herself. But the type of harmony, it's just cool.
She
Absolutely
does
love
Single Girl too, right?
Single Girl, that's another good one that,
Mhm.
would probably be kind of controversial. But yeah, I love them. I actually have her album with those songs on it.
Yeah. I don't know if when this was controversial when it came out. Was the night they drove Old Dixie down controversial when it came out?
Mm-mm.
It's historical.
Well, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
It's historical.
I just have it on my list, so I thought I'd bring it up.
It's not on your top 10.
It's on my top 10.
You
Oh,
know
it
the
is.
funny thing is about that, it wasn't well, at least where I grew up and what I grew up in, it was a matter of history.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more of that than being offended by it.
That
Yeah.
was
Right.
before the schools rewrote history.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if it was before, but it was, people still had a memory and a
Respect.
respect for the people in that era that went through that
Mm-hmm.
to maintain the United States.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't, Of course, I didn't live then.
Mhm.
Wasn't
Right,
alive
right.
then. So I don't know if the mood at that present time was just as, it had to be just as volatile
Well, right.
to
Yeah.
have this happen. So, it's again me looking back at it, maybe somewhat romanticizing it when we were doing studies of the Civil War. What battle was it where the people of the town came up and was having a picnic?
Wasn't it Bull Run?
It was the first one.
Was it Bull Run?
I
There
get
were-
them mixed up.
It wasn't.
If that,
It wasn't the first one because the first one was Fort Sumner.
Right.
Well,
right.
that
It
was the
first
firing, but-
major land battle or something like that, where
It
they
wa-
planned it. They knew that they were both gonna fight.
It was the first encounter.
I think it was Bull Run.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like
it was
people-
the mayor and some other people were going to watch like a football game.
That's
almost.
what they
They
thought.
were on the hills picnicking.
Picnicking, and then the war came up at them.
Yeah, they got
they
caught in the fire and
and
the
they had
cannons.
to take off. You
Yeah,
know,
because
so
they didn't have a grasp on the reality of it at that point.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's a lot. You know what? Human nature doesn't change.
No, it really.
I mean, we
doesn't.
don't have a grip on it. It's like, people, these are real bullets and this is a real issue. It's not like a a competition. It's not like an arm wrestling competition here. I think that's what they expected. And I remember the professor saying that they expected it to just be done. They're going to have a little tiff here and then this will settle everything.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that song has a whole vibe to it. That's just
Oh yeah, I love the night they drove Old Dixie down, and Joan Baez does it really well. And it's always really different. It makes you think about it because she has such a, I feel like, a neutral voice in the sense she sings it. It's a guy's account, and she sings it first person, but you don't really think about it as a woman singing it. You think of the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about her voice to me in it is like ghostly almost.
Yeah.
It gives you that feeling that you hear the people talking about it, but it's bringing something back to life.
Honestly, I do really like how our friend Cindy does it too. She's done it
Oh,
several
yeah,
times
she's
on
On
her
our
show. She's got
yeah,
a cool
she does
voice
that
with
really
it.
well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's fun to do the backup, right?
Mhm.
Do you have another one, Shelley?
Well, I have a lot more, but I really only have one more that I wrote a lot on. I only had two I wrote on.
Well, maybe just pick
But-
one and tell me why you picked it or something.
Not everybody gets to you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just me.
Well, I'm gonna go with my number one, and you could probably assume what it is, and it's Michael Jackson's "She's Out of My Life." And I don't actually have a lot about how the song was written. There was some things. Tom Baller, I believe, was the one who wrote it, and now I don't know who he actually wrote it about, but he dated Karen Carpenter, and everybody thought the song was written about her.
Oh.
But yeah, it wasn't. It was the girl he dated right before her, who he had been with for 2 years.
Hold it. I'm lost. Are you saying Michael?
no, the
No.
guy that wrote the song.
Oh,
So this is different. Never heard this
Michael
one.
Jackson dated Karen Carpenter?
No.
No, okay.
Now we're gonna start
Now-
a rumor.
Okay. I'm back on track here.
Yep. And so that's pretty much all about the song. I mean, it's pretty blatant what he meant by it. It sounds like exactly what happened from the story that was online. But it was released on Off the Wall album April 1st, 1980. Now, I don't know if the album was actually released then or that was just the single, but the album peaked, or the song peaked at number 10 on the Billboard, marking the first time any solo artist had ever achieved 4 top 10 hits from one album. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. What's your favorite line in it? You've listened to it enough.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you're talking about meaning or the actual vocals, because the last line is like we were talking about earlier with the human. The last line he just aces. And another thing is the hum at the end. Everybody always talks over that.
Well, it's because you think that it's done, but you have to wait for
But
it because
it's not.
it's like such a cry in it. And
Yeah.
it's such a finish, yet not.
You
know, it
mean
leaves
like-
it open?
Kind of on eBay by Weird Al, how he keeps adding the a.
You can
No.
just leave.
No.
Like you
do
just
not do not compare Weird Al to Michael Jackson.
You've just been disowned.
Okay. This is getting heated in here, guys.
The squad is now 5.
I thought I'd just poke at you a little bit.
But I do remember the first time I heard it, I was at the kitchen table and I wanted to, because I'd heard all his stuff, from when he was little, like ABC and I Want Your Back, but I wanted to hear more of his stuff when he was older. And I asked Jay Lee if she knew any of his songs, and she's like, well, actually, there's this one that was originally done by him, but I've heard Josh Groban do it. And it was She's Out of My Life. And so I'm like, okay, I'll look it up. And the first time I heard it,
All three of us, me, Elsie, and Shelly, were
I
standing at
cried.
the table. We were all crying by the end.
I
We watched his
know.
performance. Like, you have to watch the music video
Mm-hmm.
because his physical performance is just on point. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah, I know. And I remember that same day you brought it down to the sewing room. I was down in the sewing room with Linda, and she, of course, had heard it before. I had not heard it before, but I have to rate this song as one of the top moving performances,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yes.
emotionally moving performances. Like, he is not really singing it; he is completely feeling every word.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
Yes.
is. Yep.
So
And I think
That's
it
right.
should have reached more than the 10. I think it should have went straight to number 1.
Yeah, well, that album has a lot of things that we could talk about with it. Like,
Mhm.
I think it should have won some Grammys, but
Absolutely. Don't get me started on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't that year, and he came back with Thriller album, so
8 Grammys.
8
Yep.
Grammys.
I have to give a shout out, and this has nothing to do with Weird Al. It's actually about the song.
Are we inviting her back in?
I suppose.
I have to give a shout out to the fact they put Cavalier in there. The word Cavalier, because that's like something. It's so perfect for the situation, but something you don't expect.
Yeah, and I've heard, we remember it was on our way back from Texas. We heard a couple different versions of it,
Mm-hmm.
and some said I was so insincere, and it doesn't work. Like,
Mm-mm.
Cavalier has a whole different feeling to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I took her for granted. I was so cavalier. That's just better
Mhm.
because, yeah.
Like, insincere means something totally different.
Yeah.
And there was actually a lot more women than men who did the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Mm.
out of my life.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I haven't heard a lot of versions because Michael's number 1 no matter what for me.
Well, this is one that I know everybody here likes. It is Slow Dancing Swaying to the Music with Johnny Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Love that song.
Swoon.
Yes. Love it.
Swoon.
Johnny Rivers is the best.
Yeah.
I love his music.
Yeah, I have a different
I
one.
love his singing. Slow Dancing Swaying to. But what's the best version, the best part of the song? Me and my girl.
Exactly.
The crickets come in a close second.
That is true. His yeah, I've heard another version of it, and nobody compares with Johnny Rivers. And actually, that song don't have too much on it, except that it was written by Jack Timpchin. I think it was written in the '60s, and he had a band with a weird name that I don't remember because I didn't write it down. But Johnny Rivers covered it in 1977, and it charted for him.
Yeah. And Spotify
Which-
needs to
Yes,
add
I was
it.
just gonna shout out to
Yes.
Spotify. Get it on Spotify because it just has other people's versions that I want it on my playlist, and you're depriving the world of a wonderful song. And on Johnny Rivers, if that's all the notes you had on Slow
Mhm.
Dancing, yep. The one that I have from him is Mountain of Love.
Oh, yes.
I didn't take notes on it. I know that there's other groups that did it, but I really like his. I think it was another country group that did it. But if you haven't heard it, it's a fun song. Like, even though it's supposed to be kind of sad, it definitely is a fun one to sing to.
Yeah, I love that song. Mountain of Love, a mountain of love. Yeah, that's a great one.
Okay, let me think it's my turn here. I was looking over my list, and another one that I like is, and this, I just love it because it's so 60s, I guess. And it's not a song from the 60s. It's from our theme movie, That Thing You Do.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the song is called Hold My Hand, Hold My Heart by the Chanterlines.
Yep.
They're not really a group, but
Well, they were for the movie.
They were
Yeah.
for the movie.
And Tom Hanks created actually the label Playtone after the movie.
oh, did
So
he?
the label
Yeah.
Playtone does own all those songs.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love those. That is, we can watch that movie over and over and over again.
And we
And we
quote
did.
it
Yeah.
Literally,
over and over again.
2019 from the first night we watched it. We watched it like almost every night of that year.
Hey, that's
We can identify it,
Uh-huh.
with it, I guess.
It's
I
so
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
true, especially as entertainers, because the interactions and very quotable. If you haven't seen that movie, please do watch it. Because even if you're not an entertainer, it's just a great movie. I mean, they absolutely nailed everything from the set to the costume to the acting to
The
every
people in
part
the
of it.
The
background.
music.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The music's
Yeah.
amazing. There's so many songs from
Yes.
it that are
Mhm.
great.
Howard
Even-
Shore is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even from the title song, That Thing You Do.
Mm-hmm.
Even the song in the credits. You got me loving you lots and lots.
Which
Yeah.
Rabbit Trail Love It on Howard Shore. He's so talented because
Mhm.
he did all the music from that, but he also did like the complete soundtrack for all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay.
Which is a total different
Oh.
genre from That Thing You Do, but he composed all of that too. So I think he's a great musical genius.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, like, Hold My Hand, Hold My Heart. There's no way that doesn't sound like it's right out of the era.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, all of them do.
I know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
even
know.
like you said, loving you lots and lots is
And
just
they're different.
So,
Like you have the different genres that
Mhm.
were.
And
at
I
that
have to
time.
give it to also the people that mixed it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because they mixed it with the right tone and sound. I mean, that was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Music was sounding different.
Mhm.
But the music in the movie didn't sound
Well,
any
you can
different.
tell that because the in credits song, it kind of has a little bit of the 60s feel, but it's definitely more 90s sounding.
Yeah. Like it was recorded later.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's Jimmy and the
Jimmy and the Herdsman.
Jimmy and the Herdsman. Yeah.
You know, like one of the five senses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like hearing.
I don't get it.
I still don't.
We
get
think
it.
not.
It's like that movie's dialogue is basically our whole vocabulary. So
Seriously, one time, Jaylee and Shelly went for a walk to get the mail, and she almost quoted. She got halfway through the movie.
yeah, but
Shelley did.
Quoted
every line.
Uh-huh.
No, not just every line. Every time they cleared their throat, every time the speakers on it hum a little bit with
The mic gives a little
feedback.
feedback.
I mean, she did everything. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay, you've watched this like almost too much.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a great song.
And movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun song.
It
Yeah.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
It's just, it makes you want to sing with it.
does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number one is There Goes My Heart Again
Oh,
by Holly
yeah.
Dunn.
Of course, Mandy's our country gal.
I absolutely love this song. It's just snappy, and it was released in 1989, and Joe Diffie co-wrote it with a couple others.
Oh.
So I thought that was a little interesting on it. But her voice in it is just wonderful, same as with In Daddy's Hands.
Yeah,
I just
Holly
like
Dunn's
Holly
got
Dunn.
a great voice and great country songs. Yeah, There Goes My Heart Again is one of my favorites. I haven't actually performed that for a while. We need to do that one again.
Yeah, that one's always fun to do.
I actually remember this brings me back, that song, because the evolution of our listening to music. Do you remember when we first had Spotify long time ago on our road trip? So first we listened to iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Do you remember iHeartRadio?
days.
I mean,
Yep,
I'm
yep,
sure
yep.
it's still out there, but we would listen to iHeartRadio, and we had that round Bluetooth speaker.
Yep.
Because we didn't
Yep.
have Bluetooth in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd hook it up to that, and then we'd listen to iHeartRadio. Then we discovered Spotify.
Yep.
And, of course, you make playlists on that. It wasn't, we ended up going over to Pandora
Yeah.
more because you got to discover more songs. But
Yep.
Spotify playlist, we had just some certain songs on it, and one of them was There Goes My Heart Again.
I don't
By Holly
really
Dunn.
remember having Spotify
Mm-mm.
that
I
soon.
either.
Like
That
before
is what I
Pandora.
played long time on.
Oh,
is
dear.
it? I
Yes.
thought that was YouTube.
And I keep it hid.
Oh.
Was that just a playlist of those two?
Trauma.
You removed it from your memory because I played it so much.
Yeah, I probably had a aversion to Spotify.
You
for
know,
a
there's
while.
like a switch in your brain that makes you forget things that traumatized you.
I like the songs. Okay, I love those songs, but when they're played all the way to Branson and back, it gets a little bit on your nerves.
Yeah.
Well, since we were talking about Holly Dunn and women of country, one on my list, number 6, is "She's Single Again."
Oh,
Oh,
that is
yes.
a fun song.
Yes, yes,
By
And
Janie Fricke,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that is a fun song.
that one.
But we know that song as women.
Yes,
It
Yes.
every woman knows
Mhm.
that song.
Yeah,
It
probably
is very relatable.
number 2 country songs that are most relatable for women are that one and it just
I'll think of a reason later.
I'll think of a
Yep.
reason later by Leanne
Yes.
Womack.
That takes the cake. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry.
It's like, ladies, we can try to say, "Oh no, I support girls and all this. You wear your crown and all this stuff." Yeah, no, ladies. When we get down to it, this is where we're at. What we have to fight against.
It was only
We get
one tooth.
competitive.
Yeah, I love those songs. I love "She's Single Again." The first time I ever heard that was when I was working at the chiropractic office, and it came on one of the either Sonos or Pandora stations, and I thought, "Oh my goodness, this song's just calling her out." It's like,
Yep.
yeah, that's a fun one. She's single again.
Well, I guess since we're kind of having a trend here, women of country, my number 7 is a Dolly Parton, and she's my favorite country gal. All I Can Do.
Oh,
That's
yes.
all I can
love
do
that one.
to keep
I love that
on
one.
in
It's so
love
catchy.
with you.
I couldn't find a lot on it, actually, so I didn't write anything down.
Didn't you
But-
discover that one by her Songteller book?
Yes, I actually was reading, and I have to finish that book. I was reading Songteller, where she goes through all her career and her songs and how she wrote them. Now, I don't really remember the story on it, though. I'll have to go back and review that. But she talked about that song, and I'm like, I've never heard All I Can Do, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's a peppy one. It was one of her earlier ones, too, I think.
Yeah, I think it was on the one after Jolene. It was All I Can Do, the album was called that.
It's called All I Can Do.
Yeah, I just have a few facts that I think both of you will really appreciate. Because this one song, both of you meaning Jaylee and Xena, Kiss Me Goodbye by Petula Clark is like number 4, I think, on mine. I love that song. I mean, just the instrumentation of it and everything. But one of the guys who wrote it named Les Reed, I couldn't find any information on the other guy, but also wrote Delilah, or co-wrote Delilah.
Co-wrote Delilah. We'll have to talk about that in another
Yeah.
podcast.
Not Unusual, Last Waltz, Kind of a Hush, and Daughter of Darkness.
Yep.
Yeah.
That one's a Tom Jones,
Jones.
too. Really good Tom
And
Jones.
in Belgium, Kiss Me Goodbye almost reached number 1, but it was blocked by Delilah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Delilah.
So, I mean, Les
a
Reed was
good
getting
one.
his money, so he didn't really care either way.
Well, I hope his wife got hers, too. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Wow, those are some really great songs. Those are some of my favorite
Yeah.
songs. But Kiss Me Goodbye is such a good one. There is actually a version also by Gary Puckett, which is pretty
I don't know
good.
if I've heard that.
I actually kind of like Gary Puckett's Kiss Me Goodbye.
Is it arranged the same? Because that's what I really love about Petula Clark's
It's not.
version.
That's the only part but his vocals are really good.
Well, yeah, his vocals are fantastic.
So I like both versions, but yeah, Petula's is my favorite because of the arrangement. I'm going to kind of group these two songs together. I guess because they kind of fall into the country genre, and one is The Other Side of Me by Crystal Gale. I had to have a Crystal Gale song on here
have
because
to.
probably when I was 19 or 20, Crystal was like my
Idol.
Yeah.
Idol. She was an idol.
Like I had so many, like I listened to her songs back to back all the time. See, I do this. I get a favorite artist and I just absorb their music completely. That's
She's
just a
the only
personality
one,
quirk of mine.
the only artist that you've ever grabbed a record out of someone's hands for.
It's true. It's true. We were at this estate sale and I hadn't had any. I was just getting into listening to Crystal Gale and I didn't have any of her records. And I was flipping through these records.
While she was standing by this man who was flipping through records.
Yeah.
And she happened to look over, and he was just looking at this album of Crystal Gale, and Xena actually turned and took it out of his hands and says, "Oh my, Crystal Gale!" And he just looked at her like, well, that's
Excuse me.
well, that's the first time that's ever happened to
You
me.
said that, yes.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You can have it. He says, well, I didn't really want it anyway. And just shocked me. I was like, oh, I couldn't believe
She's
it.
an avid Crystal Gale fan.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There was that time when it's just everything was Crystal Gale. And this is one of the songs that I discovered at that time, and it's always been one of my favorites. One of the reasons though is it's written by Neil Sedaka. And he
Great
of course is a
songwriter.
great songwriter.
Mhm.
But the other side of me, it's kind of talking about unrequited love, but it's talking about non-communication.
Mhm.
It's talking about two people who care about each other. Well, at least one who cares. And trying to say, can you see what's on the other side of me? Can you see that it's more than just a friendship? I really love you.
Right.
And I just love the poeticness of it, of course. Why can't you see what's on the other side of me? The side of me that reaches out to you. You know, sweet thoughts and dreams like drops of rain on rippling stream.
Xena.
It's not so much about what it says. It's more about how it makes you feel.
It's true, though.
To quote Butcher Boy, right?
From Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one of my favorite Crystal Gale songs. One of my favorite songs, period. And then the other one is Gentle on My Mind by Glenn Campbell. I just love that song. Some of it is like the guitar that just leads into it. It makes you feel like you're
guitar playing is
it makes you feel like you're
amazing.
traveling.
Yeah.
And his voice is just so smooth and soft and I mean, we all know the song is talking about a bum.
Yeah.
Guy who just moves from town to town and, you know, but every time that song comes on, it's one of those where sometimes, you know, there's certain songs you can skip when you're listening to it. It's like, oh, I don't really feel like it. Every time it comes on, I have to listen to it.
Mhm.
And it's even better on the record.
That's the one I have. By the time I get to Phoenix by Glenn Campbell.
Yes,
I like
that.
Is
one.
that on the same album?
I think it is. Yes,
Yeah.
that we have.
It's on the Wichita Lineman one, isn't it?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. He has quite a few on that one
Yeah.
album.
He has a lot of
Yeah.
good ones. I listen
Yeah.
to.
There's only one song I have a hard time with,
Yeah.
That's the one everybody sings.
and loves, and I'm afraid I'll get blasted by saying this. Should I leave it a mystery?
I don't know. I think we all agree in this room, at least.
I don't know why it bugs me so badly.
I think I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Because
It's because one, I'm sure it played a ton.
yeah,
When that happens, that can ruin the song for some people. Like if
Yeah.
it plays on the radio all the time and you're constantly hearing it, it's first you're liking it, then it's like this is way too much of the song.
Like,
like the
Brandy,
song-
you're a fine girl. That
But you
said-
like
but I
that
never
one.
disliked it. It was just because I always liked it.
yeah, it just played.
The other thing
so
that it could
much.
be, it's an easy one to belt.
Mhm.
And most of the time, people who like to belt to songs playing do not belt on key.
Yeah.
And that can ruin the song for you too.
Yeah.
Because
We
all
don't
you
know
hear
anybody like that.
Nope.
all you can hear is the belting of the off-key person instead of the actual performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
So are you gonna tell them what the song
Disclose
is?
what the song is.
Rhinestone Cowboy.
I can hear people going like a rhinestone cowboy. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
And that was on key, Xena.
I know,
playing
but
it.
it's not like Glenn. I mean, Glenn
No.
doesn't sing it like that. But
I guess.
because the
I,
arrangement is cool, and you know,
there's just some, and everybody has it.
oh yeah,
There's just some songs that they play and it doesn't work in your
doesn't
brain.
rub you right. Yeah.
And it could be just loved by, the whole world.
Yeah. What about Lady in Red, Mandy?
I was just thinking about that. Oh my word. So at my work the other day, they're
Uh-oh.
starting to listen. The radio is 80s. Okay. And guess what song comes on? And I had to tell my coworkers, this song just grates at me. Because it played at every school dance when I was in high school. It's like, okay, I get it. She's in red.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how different
Well,
sounds.
that being
speak to
said,
different
it's
people.
hard to. I anyway with Glenn Campbell prefer his softer music. Like, I
Yeah.
think he really shines with that. And I do know that you love this song, though, by Glenn Campbell. And this one is my number 4, Daisy a Day.
Oh,
I love that
yes.
song.
That one's so sweet.
If you
Love
haven't
it.
heard this song, you need to listen to it from the beginning to the end, undistracted. Because it's a
Hashtag
story,
story
song.
song.
Yeah,
don't say too much about it because anybody that hasn't heard it should go listen to it without any other influence.
He wasn't the original, right?
Well,
No.
it was actually written and performed by Judd Strunk.
Yeah,
First.
that's
Yes, that's his name.
That's a household name.
I know. Judd Strunk. Very country.
Mhm.
But the version I love is Glenn Campbell's.
Yeah.
He tells the story very well.
Also on country music. So, did you know that the person who co-wrote "Green Grass" by Gary Lewis and the Playboys also co-wrote "I Just Want to Dance with You" from George Strait?
Oh, no.
Oh, Green Grass.
Uh-huh.
I love that song.
Yeah, that one's on my
That
list,
one
and I'm
almost
like,
sounds like a country song, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like-
mean, the other songs he did, I kind of got, but some of them are kind of random. He did "I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing."
That one's folky.
"Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress" by the Hollies. Isn't that
Really?
Hollies?
He wrote that?
Yeah, he co-wrote it. "Talking in Your Sleep."
Mm.
And
Crystal
Crystal
does that
Gale.
one.
Yeah. And then "Living in These Troubled Times." Do you know that one by Crystal Gale?
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at Elsie's notes, and it's a good thing she reads them because they're all over the place.
Well, everybody takes notes differently.
Mhm.
One other thing on "She's Out of My Life" was it was actually meant for Frank Sinatra to sing, but I'm glad that Michael did instead.
Frank has his place. He's
Frank
talented.
has his place, but it's
Yep.
not on "She's Out of My Life."
No, that one was.
I would think he would have attacked it too much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's hard to say anybody else singing that song but Michael. Like
Yeah.
we've tried.
Nails it.
He nailed it, made it impossible to really touch.
Mhm.
So, do you have a different song?
Well, I have a different song. I have a lot of different songs, but I think it's took every 80s song off Xena's playlist.
It's not that many.
I've actually had this one on a ton of my lists recently, but Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You by Glenn Medeiros.
Nothing's gonna change.
And I
Or
think
Jay Lee.
Or George Benson, but I don't think you have George Benson's version, do you?
No, I have Glenn Medeiros.
I like both. I like both.
Glenn Medeiros is
I heard George Benson's first.
yeah. I'm not gonna say one's better than the other. I'll keep my opinion to myself. I mean, they're very similar, so
They are. They
Yeah,
really
they
are.
are.
Like
Mhm.
George Benson's is just like you can tell his voice is a little more mature,
Yeah.
but the arrangement is practically the same.
Jay Lee's playlist loves that song. One time we're out working in the yard and it played 3 times, twice by Glenn Medeiros and once by George Benson.
And then after we were gardening, so I was
Yeah.
like really dirty, and I went to take a shower and I turned on my playlist, and it played it again.
Okay, so I got one more. Don't Say Love by Jim Glazer.
Don't say. I love that song, and I love Jim Glazer.
So I was looking it up, and it said Connie Smith.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, what's going on here? So he actually wrote this song. And he performed it, but also Connie Smith was the artist when I looked it up that performed it.
Mm.
So there's a little tidbit there.
Yeah, I forgot about that song. I absolutely love that one. And Jim Glazer, now he's another one of my random quote unquote artists that a lot of people don't know about. He originally was part of a group, the Glazer Brothers. And then he ended up going off on his own solo career. But he's actually people, well, if they know him, they probably know him more, not him, but his work, because he's a
Right.
songwriter, and he wrote a song for Gary Puckett, and that song was Woman, Woman. Have You Got Cheating on Your Mind? That one.
I
And
could do a whole podcast on that song, by the way, just talking about how much I love it.
yeah, and Gary Puckett, I mean, of course, just took that and did it incredibly well. But we first discovered Jim Glazer because I think it was like on the Tonight Show, or it was something where both Gary Puckett and Jim Glazer were on there singing that song together.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, who is this guy? He's got a great voice. So then we dug a little deeper, and wow, he's got so many great songs. That one and Close Friends and Man in the Mirror. Not the Michael Jackson one. It's a different one. And, what's that other one that I love too? There's just so many. Yes, go look and listen to Jim Glazer because he has a very unique voice.
Yeah, Xena actually got one of his albums sealed down in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brand
never
new.
been open.
Yeah,
That's the best feeling.
It is. It is.
well, especially when I can find them, because that's the thing about listening to artists that aren't quite as well known in the mainstream. You can't
Mhm.
find their records as easily.
Yeah, but you could probably find them sealed easier.
Oh, that's true.
You can't find like random artists like not as well known, and you can't find really well known artists their
Mhm.
albums because people hang on to them.
Yeah.
True.
So that's the challenge of
Yeah.
collecting records.
Yeah, back to Pet Sounds. I really want that one, but it's hard to find in record stores and it's normally really expensive.
That's
That's
the
because
thing.
it was
They
a major
usually-
record.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, I
Charge a
want
lot
an
for it.
original if I'm gonna get a
Mhm.
record.
Yeah, I don't really like the
Reprint.
remakes, but I mean, if
I
I
mean-
have to, then I will. But
I got Dolly's new
Mhm,
record, and that has like all her hits. I really like that one, but
that one's pretty
The
cool.
record's
the
pink,
actual
too.
vinyl
Yeah.
is pink, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
The only thing they could have done with it is add a few sparkles. But
Yeah, they should have had it like translucent sparkle because they can do that now.
yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out over the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
We have an a vintage, I would say, console stereo,
Yep.
and we need to find a repair person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was working when we traveled with it.
It's actually the one that my parents bought way back in 60, I would say 64-ish, late 64. And from the music store in downtown Chehalis. We were excited to get it. I was, young. We got a free album with the purchase of this stereo.
I
And
love
Dad
this
wanted,
story.
of course, something country. But my brother, he wanted to buy he begged to buy this album, which, I didn't realize he liked. I was young. I didn't pay attention to him that much. And he just begged Dad to get the Beatles album.
Mm-hmm.
It was Meet the Beatles, right?
It was Meet the
Mhm.
Beatles, their first album. So, yeah, that's the first album we got to play on that stereo. But, yeah, we need it fixed. And we don't know of a repair
Somewhere
shop.
trustworthy and
Yeah.
You
that'll
know,
handle
we're
it with
willing to travel somewhat. But if
Mhm.
anybody knows somebody who's good at this, because it's
Yeah,
like
hopefully in the
it's a
Minnesota
family,
area.
it's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so
We
the-
think it's an electrical issue that's going on because when we plugged it in, even in Washington, it buzzed really loud.
It
Mhm.
did
Like
buzz.
an electrical buzz.
But I got it to play, and I
Right.
got it to click automatically on the records,
Right,
like
everything
it was supposed to.
working.
But I think traveling over the mountains and stuff, we had it wrapped.
Mhm.
But I think
I
something's
think it
been
shook
shaken.
something loose.
So yes, it needs repair.
I think we scared it by saying we were going to play Osmonds on it first.
you might have. You might have.
I have to talk about this one,
Okay.
and I think Xena knows what it is. It's like one of my favorite songs right now, and she put it on her playlist, so I can talk about it, even though it's one of my favorites.
Well, I do love it.
It is beautiful, and it was written by Kenny Rogers, and I don't remember the other writers, but go look it up. It's called What About Me. They were also in different bands and stuff, but they weren't really country. They were more rock bands and stuff. Anyway, Kenny Rogers and these two guys wrote this song, and it's on his album titled What About Me, I believe. And it doesn't really sound like a country song, actually. Like,
It isn't a country song.
well, it's on one of his albums. Like, it's a Kenny Rogers album, so technically it's country because
Well,
it's on the country
Kenny
album.
kind of makes it country. He has a
Only
country-
Kenny because he sings it
Yeah.
with a twang. Anyway, it's Kenny Rogers,
Love Kenny Rogers, by the way.
Kim Carnes, and James Ingram. And everybody here knows that I'm kind of obsessed with James Ingram right now. But originally it was supposed to be Kenny Rogers, Barbara Streisand, and
Lionel Richie.
No, Jeffrey Osborne, right?
Jeffrey Osborne wasn't first.
Lionel Richie, I think.
Was it Lionel Richie?
I think it was maybe.
Lionel Richie. But Lionel couldn't do it. And Barbara Streisand ended up getting some other contract and not being able to do it. So then they're like, okay, let's get Olivia Newton-John because she was big at the time. And, so it was going to be Kenny Rogers, Olivia Newton-John, and Jeffrey Osborne, who sang On the Wings of Love. Well, something didn't work out, and Jeffrey Osborne couldn't do it, so I don't know who suggested him, but James Ingram got the position of Jeffrey Osborne, and it was going to be Kenny Rogers, Olivia Newton-John, and James Ingram. And then Olivia got some movie contract or something, and she said, oh, sorry, I can't do it. So they got Kim Carnes, and I think they ended up with the best trio.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Like, their voices together tell the story so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go listen to it and go watch the live video of it if you can, because even the acting in it is really good.
Yeah. It definitely sounds like something that would be in a play or in a movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, when James Ingram comes in, I just melt.
It'll break your heart.
Yeah. No, that's a really great one. Well, I think just mentioning, because I know it's about time to sign off, I did have two other ones to definitely take a look at. Fools Fall in Love by Jackie Ward, who is a country singer that not many people know because he didn't have that many hits. He did some recording and then he retired actually to be a Baptist pastor. And but he's got a really cool voice. Fools Fall in Love, and then First Love Never Dies by the Walker Brothers.
Yes.
Their voices are amazing,
Yeah.
deep, and
I like, what is that called?
By the
Make
Walker.
It Easy on Yourself.
No, Everything Under the Sun.
Oh yeah.
I like their version of that.
Mm.
And Make It Easy on Yourself. Make It Easy on Yourself's a really good one, too.
All right. Any other last comments or?
Well, I have a few more, but you can just find it on my top.
Check out the lists.
Yeah.
We'll have them posted.
Alrighty. Well, signing off. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We talked about a lot of music and a lot of different subjects, and this was a lot of fun. So we will be seeing you now in July for our next episode, and our next episode should be a cover song comparisons.
And at this point, when we're pre-recording this, we don't have the song picked yet, but we will by then.
So we're signing off here. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet with you next Friday. Bye.
We'll see you then.
Bye.